And we're live.
And we're live. Welcome to LiveBrush,
Welcome to
episode
LiveBrush.
episode 6B. Episode
Yeah.
6, part 2.
So this is the true episode 6.
No, episode 6, part 2.
Okay, part
It's
2.
a two-part, it's the first
It's
two-part
like
episode.
Dune. It's like
It's the
Dune.
first two-part
Part
episode.
1 and 2. Part 1 and 2. Maybe part 3.
Yeah. Maybe part 3.
So what's up, dude? What's going on?
Nothing much, man.
What you got going on?
I have a painting that I started today on my iPad for a small work show, actually at a Principal Gallery that's coming up. So if Clint Mansell watches this is the painting that I was talking about, as promised. So I'll be doing an underpainting today. What about you? I'm seeing some Rebelle, an
Dude,
interface,
Yeah, dude. I'm back.
a French interface.
I'm back in Rebelle, as they say. And look at that. If you go off the canvas, it makes. Did it make that area disappear? Anyways, yeah, I'm just messing around in this program again. I want to be real like sloppy this time. I'm Zhao Ming Wu this thing. You know what I mean? Real thick, chunky strokes. So we'll see. We'll see.
Yes, you're.
I am doing a shot from. Go ahead. Say again.
No, I was going to say you're starting off the stream by insulting the great master Zhao Ming Wu. But okay, go ahead, carry on.
I think Zhao Ming's great, but he's a chunky boy. He paints all chunky.
I know, but you ain't gonna paint like him because
No. There's no one. There's no way. But I mean, my early paintings, you could tell I was learning from the man himself.
Okay, side. Can I show a side story? Tyler and I studied with Zhao Ming Wu. Took a couple of classes with them. We were in a head painting class. Was the first class we had with them, and I remember the day Tyler started to he leveled up because he parked like the first painting. We were just like struggling quite a bit, and Zhao Ming was doing this like crazy ass painting. And the second painting, Tyler parked his easel right next to Zhao Ming, right behind his shoulder. And I didn't notice it until the tail end of class, but I realized that he was copying every single stroke that Zhao Ming made. Dude, and it was his best painting. That's how you do it.
I got to fill some commentary on this because the only reason I did that is, God bless him. God bless Zhao Ming Wu. But he was not really maybe not even to this day, is super forthcoming with exactly what he's doing. And I think that's by design, right? He wants you to figure out your own method, which I think is really important. So everybody, if you're struggling to figure out exactly what someone's doing, it may not be that important. But I really wanted to know at the time. So I was just like, I'm going to scoot right up next to this dude. I'm going to see exactly what he's doing. And actually, it ended up being kind of helpful.
It was super helpful. And I'm laughing because it's like, why didn't I think about that? Why did I think to do that? Like he was, yeah. I bugged him until he painted on my painting, and he did that for no one else that semester. Because I just kept asking him questions. I remember that, and I was like, but how, it's like, how am I sculpting line? Am I doing it right? And he's like, he grabbed the biggest paintbrush I had, and then he just basically finished the painting in about 20 minutes, and then I just sat there kind of noodling on it, pretending like I was actually doing something to it. But it was like an awakening.
It's pretty amazing. He was good at that. He was really good at I don't know. We used to joke in class that you could give him a mop, and he would paint a better painting than anyone you'd ever seen, or or a friggin' Crayola marker from a Crayola painting set. I don't even know what they were called. What were they called? Tempera? Is that what the Crayola stuff was?
Oh yeah. Tempera, yeah.
He just didn't. His brushes were all jammed up and screwed. It didn't matter. He was gonna nail it.
I was just gonna say, he pretty much painted with Crayola quality oil paints. Like
Yeah.
he had the cheapest oil paints. He didn't wash his brushes. He wrapped them up in paper towels, wet paper towels, and then like put saran wrap around them or something like that.
Which it turns out to be a great method.
Which is great. Yeah. We say it's great because we upped and copied it, which is probably not the greatest of whatever. It didn't matter because brush wise, because the brushes were horrible to begin with. Homeboy painted half of his paintings with a fan brush. It's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's crazy.
I mean, I couldn't understand what I was seeing most of the time. Dude's amazing. Check him out if you've not heard of Zhao Ming Wu. Enjoy.
ZhaomingWu.
Yes, spelled
Gem.
BADASS.
Yeah. .com. That site. Yeah. No, he's great. He's great. I understand now what he was trying to teach us. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those. Took me a really long time to figure it out. Situations, you know.
Well, I think a lot of it also we weren't really ready for the. I think we just weren't ready for the information. At least I wasn't.
Yeah, no, I'm not. I wasn't either, man. Who is? Dude, okay. One thing I wanted to talk about is last week. I remember I was having that like crazy issue with getting this. Here, I'm going to make a new layer just to illustrate what I'm talking about. Getting this brush to like rotate, like the tilt on it. See, it's this like pie shape.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Well, I snagged one of those old, was it 6D art pen from Wacom? I think they just call it the art pen now. But it's the only pen for some reason. Wacom, if you're watching, for some reason, they're
watching.
Their regular Pro pen, I think it's called the Pro pen, doesn't have barrel rolling. Right? It does. The rotation of the pen is not recognized, but the art pen does have that. Why they don't just have it across the market or across their products is beyond me. But see, what I can do is I can rotate it and see how I can get the, just by physically rotating the pen. See that? I can get the thin to thick, or the gradient that this particular palette knife brush offers. I can just get it by rotating instead of trying to figure out what tilt I'm at and all that jazz. Very cool. I love this pen. I wish that, in fact, I gotta change the tip on it. I wish that Wacom would just put this tech into all their pens. And that's my little review of Wacom products. Short little review. You guys got a little extra review. You didn't think you're signing up for that today, did you?
Well, LiveBrush is turning into a review stream. I don't mind it.
Hey, that's all right. You know, maybe they'll send us free Wacom tablets. Never know. Never know, dude.
We were at WonderCon, and we were like, "You guys do discounts?" We saw them like at WonderCon San Francisco. At the time, it was in San Francisco. I don't know if it's even around anymore, but it was a Comic-Con.
It's down in like Pasadena or Anaheim or something now. But yeah,
okay.
It was WonderCon back then when it was in Oakland and then into Moscone.
Yeah, we definitely asked if there's a discount. They're like, no, we don't give discounts.
Yeah, I don't get it, man. You know, but hey, to speak of another review, and I don't know, do a quick little review. Maybe I'll bring one in and do a stream on it. But I snagged one of the the heck are they called? Oh, they're called like X Pen or XP Pen. Kind of a strange name. They could work on it. XP Pen.
The display people?
Yeah, they make displays. They're far cheaper than Wacom stuff. But it's it's pretty good. It's missing like a few features that I wish it had that Wacom has, but it's actually pretty great. I would totally recommend it. I'm going to back up. I don't like any of that I just did.
Wait, so you got an XP pen display?
Yeah, I snagged one of the really little ones. It's like the 16 inch, so it's like basically the size of my
Yeah.
lap. It's basically the size of my laptop, and about as thick. So it's kind of like I could travel with two laptops, and I'd have basically a Cintiq with me.
Oh, nice, dude.
And
Yeah.
it's cool. It's cool. I don't hate it. So far, I think it's pretty good.
Okay. And there's those other people too that are like either former Wacom engineers or something. They're a new company that popped up.
I know
Oh man.
nothing about them whatsoever. I'm not going to be helpful here.
Okay, but
I know
you know
absolutely
what I'm
nothing
talking about
about them.
though?
No, no, I don't even know what you're talking about.
No?
Fill me in. Fill me in.
Oh man. Well, that's about it. That's all I know. I mean, I know that the people were excited about them because it was had all the features that Wacom's had, but not nearly as expensive. But that was about it.
Oh, and
I don't know. Maybe
this is XP Pen that you're talking about.
no.
Oh,
It's
different
like
company.
yeah, it's a completely different company.
There's one called like Cella something. I forget. I'm not helpful here, dude. Don't even listen to me. Pretend I
Well,
don't know
welcome
anything.
to live display
Live
tech
display brush.
reviews. Live display brush.
Welcome to completely uninformed techreviews.com.
Charles said, do more. Ray, review your brush, your panel, your socks. See? Told you. It's catching on like wildfire, man.
Finally.
That's funny. Yeah, so Huion, that's the other one.
Huion.
Ah, Xenolabs. Oh,
Zenlabs.
thank
That's it.
you.
Who's that? Oh, who's that in the chat?
I don't know. That must be a bot.
The
Can we get the
ever
mods to
the ever incredible K Welch.
That's impossible.
You don't think it's her? Yeah, with AI these
She
days.
has it. The
no way to
last time
tell.
I've I haven't felt this presence since.
I was in the presence of my old master. Let's see. We do got a question from Noah. Tyler, is there new software using AI to emulate oils and color mixing, etc., or is it just more powerful algorithm math? Oh, this program? It's not using AI. It's just better at simulating. I think it's just better at simulating sort of traditional mediums. It's kind of like Corel a little bit, but so far, I'd say a little more fiddly and pretty effective. I gotta withhold my review. I don't really know yet. We'll see.
I can't believe Kate's here.
Can you believe it? Because I can't.
It's great. We always have the seat's always open.
It's true. Ray keeps saying that.
Tyler's the one that's in control of the seats, so
Only loosely. I barely know what I'm doing over here with
it's
this.
like inviting people over to your house for you. You know, just come over. You know, dude, I'm not even gonna be home.
Just come over whenever. It's fine.
Over.
Oh man. Okay. Yeah.
So
I'm gonna
I love
in.
that you're. I love that you're doing this. You're doing the new software. I am eager. I'm eager to jump on some new software on the stream.
Well, Ben, you've been doing so much 3D. You should you should bring people through your workflow with that.
Yeah, or lack thereof. Yeah, I mean, oh god, I'm
Don't start
I'm in
talking
the
yourself down. Not in front of me.
well, I'm in the sponge phase. I'm in the sponge phase, but I've been where I'm just like absorbing everything. I was doing some basic blocking online today, and I was like, right up almost until the stream, and I was like, oh my god, I gotta go. So the thing about 3D is that it is a time vortex. I don't know if you realize this when you
That
if you
is
ever jump into it.
what I've experienced with it. and ZBrush and stuff, I'll be like, I just spent 2 hours just trying to figure out how to make this a subgroup and make it usable.
Yeah, that's it. Or in my case, I just spent 2 hours building all this stuff, and I realized that when I put a light on it, that all my normals are all screwed up. So it isn't, half of it doesn't even be lit, and I have to go in manually, or just and flip them all, or do it over again.
Dude, that's the one thing. So with the limited 3D I've done, the unforgiving nature of like I forgot to do this part is brutal.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah,
It's
it really
like
is.
ruthless. It's like, oh, did you mess that up? Guess what? Everything's ruined. Nice try. How about
Yeah, like
you?
if you don't
How
catch
about
it
you
early enough,
start over?
it could just compound, like, just like, oh yeah, dude. Well, it's the reason, man.
No,
You
no,
know,
no.
I know I'm like talking about. I'm just talking about it and not showing it. I almost like I have to get this painting done, so otherwise I would have been like,
What do you got, like
it's
a
live
show
blender
or something?
brush.
Jeez.
Yeah, I know, right? You know, I calculated it. I'm in 5 shows between now and the
What?
end of the year.
Are these all in
Yeah,
Buffalo?
that's no, they're all over the place.
Oh, dude, are you gonna go? Are you going to all the
There's
openings?
no, unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to go to most of them except for my solo show. There's one happening in Indianapolis right on Friday at the Vinning Gallery. I'm in a really great um, landscape invitational. Um, Vinning Gallery is awesome. Justin Vinning,
It's
amazing,
fantastic.
great landscape painter. Yeah, man. So you got to see some of the people that are in that. I mean, the artists that are in that are nuts.
It's so crazy.
I
Five
think David
shows,
Dibble's
man.
in this show.
What? Oh, they say hey to that guy.
Yeah, I will not.
No, no. I asked you
He's
to say
my
hi to
friend,
him.
not
Say hi
yours.
to him. I'm gonna check with him. If you didn't say hi, I'm gonna be upset.
He'll tell you too. Ray didn't say
Yeah, he'll
hi.
let me know. He didn't say hi at all. He didn't say hi from me? No, not at all. I asked him to.
Oh no, I saw him too, and I asked him if he saw anyone from the old school, and he said no.
Holy shit. Great. Well, I'll get ready for this disappointment.
Well, so I have that. I have one piece there, and I have a piece at the Momentum Gallery in Asheville, North Carolina. I think it's North Carolina. I always get them mixed up, either north or south.
North Carolina.
My apologies.
You gotta say it right.
I know. See, I'm not even saying it right. Really nice gallery there. It's my first time showing with them. I'm in a group show there. I got 3 pieces there, and then I have two shows in December. One for Principal Gallery, and another one for a bend. And I have 3 pieces in each of those shows. And then November, I have my solo show.
Dang, dude. Banging on all
Which
cylinders
is
over
I have
there.
20 new pieces there.
20.
So 20. Yep.
Okay, so for everyone listening, what if they want to get one of those pieces? What are they going to do?
Oh. Well, just stay plugged into my Instagram, and I'll be sharing it. I'm resurrecting the LiveBrush Instagram too, so stay tuned on that, because I got to do a post for you, because you've been up to a lot of stuff.
Not much.
But yeah, November. In November, you'll see some stuff. It's gonna be on my Instagram with all the links and everything like that. So should be a lot of fun.
Dude, that's killer. That's so much. That's so much. You got to be. Can you even see straight?
Oh, dude. Yeah. Well, I'm on piece. Yeah, I've been showing you as I
Dude,
read them. So I.
you said I'm on peace, and I thought you were about to say I'm on PCP. That's the only way for me to get through
So I'm
this.
feeling fine. I'm feeling fine.
I'm going fast. I'm backing up.
So I'm on piece 19 of 20.
Oh,
19
you're
of
dude.
20.
Finish line. Finish line.
Yeah. Well, the last one's a 36 by 36. It might take me a month to paint, but yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot.
So I'm very happy to be doing this 10 by 10 to prep me, the large one. But I am also, well, I have to submit a post for you because you're now a rum runner, a bootlegger, liquor.
Bootlegger, so to speak. Yeah, we got our whiskey went
Can you
live for
can you
pre-sale
explain
today.
that?
Like why or everything about it. What do you want?
Well,
What do you want from me?
I don't know. I mean, like, what if it's like, hi, Tyler. I am, person you don't know. I don't know anything about this.
I'm joking. I'm just
What do
joking.
you speak of?
I'm joking, dude. Yeah.
No,
So
you're not. No, you're not.
no, actually, I wasn't.
Kate's got it. You know what? Let's just have Kate explain.
Kate's involved in this too.
Because Kate's part of it too.
We have a whiskey brand that we've been working on with our friend Matthew Lillard from such notable shows as Scooby-Doo, Scream, and what's the other one? No, the have you seen a little amazing little movie called Hackers, right?
Hack the world.
Hack the planet, dude.
Hack the planet. Oh, sorry, dude. Yeah.
Can't believe this.
What was the ultra virus called? Like Da Vinci or something like that?
I can't remember, but I do remember that there was like polygons and stuff that they had to navigate, which is hard.
All right. So can you just say that ridiculous statement again?
Okay, yeah. Let me actually speak. Okay, so yeah, I'm friends with Matt Lillard because Kate was initially friends with Matt Lillard, so I give her all the credit in the world. She's done a bunch of D&D games with him, and
Kate's friend Matt.
I'm just a sideliner. Kate's friend Matt asked us to work on this whiskey brand with us. So maybe like, when was it? Last year, and oh man, I just ran. I'm gonna finish this story, but then I'm gonna complain about this program for a sec. So yeah, last year Lillard came and asked us if we wanted to work on this. I've been doing art direction and illustration work, and Kate has been doing all the amazing story and just creative content.
Okay, so this is a whiskey company that is inspired by Dungeons and Dragons, and so everything is kind of or role playing games, right? And so, and what is it called? What is this whiskey company
Yeah,
called?
so it's inspired by fantasy role playing. That's the best way I would put it. And our brand that we came up with is called Quest's End. It's the end of your quest. You're celebrating, right? And our first bottle. So our bottles are actually going to be themed off of, basically character classes from classic RPGs. Obviously the main ones, if you're D&D players out there, the main ones that from D&D, which are, like paladin and fighter and bard and warlock and sorcerer and wizard. So we're starting with paladin as our first class, and Kate has done all the world building, and she wrote all these amazing characters that are going to go with these. But our first one is an awesome paladin that I think everyone's going to like when she hits the deck. She hasn't yet, early days, but we just opened pre-sales and it's been going really good.
Amazing. So
Pretty cool, huh?
they got Kate to world build. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Dude, she's doing an amazing
Kate,
job.
Kate's not like you. I mean, she's no run of the mill person. You
Oh,
know.
she's top notch. She's top notch. Are the bottles the same recipe for? Oh, okay. Yes, this is a question that's come up a few times, and I think we're going to clarify it on the website. They are different blends, so each character is going to have a different blend and a different flavor profile. So yeah, each as we develop this, I think it's going to be really cool to see all the different styles. Our master
So
blender
world
Ale, she is truly top notch, truly amazing.
got a master blender.
Yes,
You
sir.
got Kate world building. You got Screech from Scooby Doo.
Screech. I love it. I love it.
Oh, Shaggy. I mean, my bad.
I like Screech.
In my head, I was like Scream.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then I was like Scooby Doo to Screech. That's
Dude.
cool, dude. That's super exciting. That's like not like a, oh, yeah, I started, you know, I don't know, doing real estate on the side. Like you're
Which
collaborating
would
on
be
a
huge. That would be huge too, dude. I wouldn't know
Yes,
what
that would be.
I wouldn't know what I was doing, but I think it'd be pretty cool.
You are collaborating with a bunch of really, really talented individuals to create a whiskey brand. Like, it's like, so how is your Tuesday going, folks, or Wednesday? I don't even know what day it is.
Oh, it's one of those days. I don't know.
Dude, I am like, I mean, kneecapping my jokes here, my own material.
Man, yeah. Well, I mean, this is all meant to be workshopping, you know. So we're just workshopping it out.
My normals are all flipped. That's what's wrong.
You just plug flip normals on our show?
No, it's not flip more. Flip normals is a thing.
I know.
This is why I don't. I know you don't know anything about. No, this is why I know you haven't been in the thick of it, in the 3D swamp.
I like that you're just about to say, this is why I know you don't know anything. This is why I know you don't know anything. So I don't know if anyone's guessed yet, but I'm doing a character from a movie that I think is really good.
Oh, dude, yes, you were going to complain about.
Oh yeah. So okay. So
Rebele.
one thing it doesn't do. So I have the rotation set here. Let me see if I can get it up. So I have this rotation set, but if I move the pen fully away, it resets it. That sucks.
What?
I hate that. Yeah, if I pull the pen like really far away from the screen, it resets that completely. So
Dude, that is infuriating.
So there's a minus. Minus in the review. Add it to the list. Which is currently very short.
You know, it's a. It seems like a really like a. Just like a Procreate on steroids, like a Procreate meets Photoshop, like Corel Painter, basically.
Yeah, I think it's got a little of that. It's I mean, I haven't explored it enough to know if it has a lot of the same features as Procreate. But the current like
such a
oil
well-designed
brush,
app.
Yeah, it's amazing. But the current oil brush simulation, I say, is better. I would say is better
than Procreate.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it makes
sense.
It has, Procreate's like what, $10?
Yeah, and it's it's also relying on the GPU of an iPad. So, which
of
is
an
good,
iPad. Yeah.
which isn't bad,
Yeah.
but this also has like I'll zoom in. This has really good impasto. I don't know if you guys can see that. It's got extremely cool impasto. Like how cool is that? It looks like thick paint. Freaking out. I don't want all that impasto right there right now, but I'll just leave it. Who cares? Guess I could paint this whole thing with impasto.
Yeah, it doesn't have that like I don't want to be harsh on Photoshop because it was definitely not designed to be a painting software. It was just hacked together to do it.
Yeah, 100%.
But like, it doesn't have that fake type of impasto look. Like people try and do it, but it just looks fake.
Yeah, this one's fairly good. Fairly good. I think one thing that Painter had, I think, is that you could like clear out the impasto, and I'm sure there's a tool for that in here, but I haven't found it yet.
Ooh.
Oh, you can do multicolor brushes, huh? What? What does that even mean? Does that mean you like set another color? Okay, that's nothing yet. That's nothing yet. Don't get your hopes up.
I think it might be not one, but more than one color. That's just my guess.
Well, yeah, I mean, I set like the back color and the front color to see what was going to happen, but nothing happened. That's okay. Who cares? Moving on.
Dude, once it gets to that, I'm like, I'm never going to use this.
Wait, what do you mean? Say that again.
I have like I'm so low tech when it comes to painting stuff. Like I just need a brush, a way to sample. Like it's shocking how little I use stuff, but like how useful it could be if I did use more stuff like multicolored brushes or experiment with stuff. But
yeah, like jitters
and me coming from a background. Yeah, like just that my background is like just like pretty straightforward,
There's a lot of, even for me, I'm the same. Like I've been painting digitally for a long time, but there's stuff in Photoshop that, like all kinds of weird color jitters and stuff that much more proficient people than me use very well.
Yeah.
And I'm not good at it.
Like I'm watching a tutorial by an artist by the name of Romain Jandot. I've shown you his Ghost of Tsushima stuff, whatever it's called. But
Tsushima, yeah.
Tsushima, yeah. He uses like the mixer brush.
Right. I can't get that down either.
I've never used that. I was like, I've used it by accident. Like, what the hell's wrong with my paint? Why does it look like shit? Oh, it's a mixer brush. Get that out of here.
When it first came out, I used it a lot, but it was not very well, and I didn't know what I was doing and so forth. But it can be good, but it's also really counterintuitive. Like the settings that it has built into it don't make much sense.
Dude, I'm loving your La La Land painting here. Nice pick.
I've never seen that. Is it good?
Neither have I. No, I don't know.
I would say like Gosling is one of those actors. Like I will watch whatever he's in. I don't care what it is.
Well, you ever watched? Was he in La La Land?
Yeah, he was, but I haven't seen it.
But you have yet to watch that.
But I say usually it's like Guy Pearce. Anything he's in, I'll watch. But I've obviously missed a few things.
You know what? I have okay. Who's an actor like a guilty pleasure actor? Like, yeah, I'll watch that. I got one right off the bat. But go ahead.
No, you start. Because I need a good example.
Jason Statham.
Oh yeah,
Jason Statham. Like I'll like sit there and I'll ponder, like because he's in so many movies, right? And I'm like, I'll ponder. I'm like, you know what? I could watch Crank. while I paint.
I did watch
Why not?
a movie that he was in. What the heck was it called? It was one of the
Transporter?
It was one of the Fast and the Furious ones. But it
Oh,
was
the
like,
Hobbs, Calvin and
yeah,
Hobbs.
that's it.
Or
That's it.
Hobbs, not Calvin and Hobbs.
I
Whatever the hell
like
it's
no,
called.
I like Calvin and Hobbes. I like Calvin and Hobbes. Let's call it Calvin and Hobbes from now on. So in Calvin and Hobbes, Fast and the Furious' Calvin and Hobbes. He they fight like Idris Elba, but he's like a super soldier.
Yeah,
He's like a
he's a
sci-fi
super
space soldier.
Yeah.
So like Fast and the Furious has just gone from a racing show to
Love of cars, man, and LA culture.
I don't even know what it is. It's gone from that to basically science fiction James Bond, maybe? Is that
Do you know who? Do you know who? Well, it's gone to movies about family. You know.
Oh yeah, of course.
You know who came up with the original premise?
Hold on. Let me guess. James Cameron.
No, that's a good one. That's a good guess.
Damn.
Yeah, I had this idea of a race. I was cut off one day while getting ice cream with my son, and
I wish that I could drive really fast.
Who directed Fury? Why am I thinking on his name?
I know who you're talking about. Fury was cool. I like Fury a lot. Come on, chat. Use the internet. Look this up.
Chat will help us. Well, the chat's also like a half an hour delayed.
Oh yeah. So they probably named all the movies while we're waiting.
I'm looking at my brush strokes that as I'm doing. I'm like, yeah. Why'd you paint that? Now I gotta go fix that. So oh my god.
Yeah. That's
What's
it.
this?
Yeah, David Ayers. Thanks, Noah.
David Ayers. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Dude's awesome.
So the dude who played Punisher. Oh my god, Jake Benthenhall or something like that.
Oh yeah. Something Brenthal. He's in like
Brenthal.
Everything amazing. Or every time he's in something, he's
Fury.
amazing.
He's in Fury.
Yeah, and this was back when he was sort of like a character actor, not really like
he was unknown. That was his first big breakup. Apparently, it's his first big break. But he had David Ayers on because he has this podcast that pops up on my feed sometimes called The Real Ones.
I've been meaning to watch that. It looks kind of cool, and it feels like it's really inside baseball for Hollywood.
It is. It's a. I hope he doesn't. It's a little pretentious.
Do you think he watches our show, Ray?
I think he does, dude. I think he does. You never know, man.
You know what? You do never know. You do never know. Sorry, I poo-pooed it.
I like the podcast a lot. But yeah.
But it's a little.
No, the real one. It's just I just like it always rubs me the wrong way. The real ones,
I see. Like
that's what it's
as
called.
Opposed
the real
to
ones.
other actors in Hollywood or something.
Yeah, no, it's not because it's not only just actors. It's like former Navy SEALs and like all these people.
Oh, I see. It's almost like he's doing like a little Rogan kind of thing, huh?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, and he's he's a great interviewer.
We're gonna be as big as Rogan if we keep holding out.
Rogan. I always think like WWF. I said it.
Yeah, it's
Not
what it should be.
EF.
It should be WWF.
Hogan. Well, so the real ones, yeah, great. I actually really enjoyed the podcast. The David Ayers one was phenomenal.
Oh, sweet.
And like this Jake Benthenall, I mean, he's just out there. He's like an open wound, man. He's just I'm telling you, he's just
Makes sense. He's like the producer on the The Bear. I don't know if you watched The Bear. It's incredible, and that shows an open wound. It's like, holy
Oh, really?
crap. Yeah, it's just it's all about people's trauma, and it's great. It's really good. If you've not
Yeah,
seen The Bear, see The Bear.
he's not a fake person. He's a real person. He's one of the real ones.
Oh,
I get it now. Get
I
the
get
title
it
now.
now. I
Get the
get
title.
it. Oh man, that came back around. I didn't expect that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I didn't realize that either. But it feels like I'm making fun of him. I actually really, I mean, I think it's a really nice podcast. And the David Ayers one was like, oh man, if you're an artist, watch that podcast, man. That episode is excellent. But Ayers, he wrote the premise for Fast and the Furious. I don't think he was credited or got any money for it, or like he got money, but he didn't get any residuals. He didn't make any money on it. He's the one that set it in L.A. around like car culture in LA. It was supposed to be set in New York or something like that. And
I'd heard this that it was supposed to
all
be
these,
in New York, and it's just
yeah,
like Hollywood picks. It's either New York or Hollywood, um, and it seems like New York is completely wrong. But didn't he want it to be like a bunch of Italian kids?
no. Ayers was like, I want it to be because he grew up in the projects in Compton and all those, like I don't know where, but he had a pretty rough and tumble, pretty crazy childhood. Um, and so like gangsters, like he was hanging out with gangsters all the time, and it was wild. Um, so yeah, that's what he based everything off of that because that's what he knew.
Dang, that's pretty cool.
It's pretty wild. It's pretty wild. Yeah, he's legit. Um, he had said one time he was like, I'm not gonna spoil the podcast, but he was like talking about directing now, and he's like, man, now I'm just trying to make a living, stay
Yeah,
afloat.
yeah.
And I was like, whoa.
Well, I mean, everyone should be aware of this streaming services are not making it easy for actors in Hollywood.
No,
Not all actors in Hollywood are superstars like Tom Cruise or something. A lot of them are just
right.
working for a living, and studios like we don't have to get into this, but there's streaming services that are making a lot of money, and the actors aren't getting their share of the profits. And we'll leave it at that.
It's a tough. Yeah, we'll leave it at that. Just look up the internet. Google the internet.
Try out.
If
Yeah,
you wanna.
search the internet, and then once you're there, Google search what's going on in Hollywood.
So I will, once I get this stuff done, I will for sure be heading into 3D. I might even do, if I could figure out how to do it, I might even do one where I'm in VR
That'd be
sculpting away.
fun. That'd be fun.
It's really hard to watch though. You ever watch videos of people sculpting?
Yeah, it's sort of like disorienting.
It's like a squirrel got a hold of the camera.
There's got to be a way to like place a camera,
Right? Yeah, like in space, and then watch the
secondary
person
camera.
walking around it. Yeah, exactly. Like, why not just do that? Like, what? It doesn't. It's not really helpful. Just see what I'm seeing, really.
All right, you can get some interesting stuff out of this. I'm liking it so far.
Here. Did you watch Barbie?
I didn't yet. Planning to.
You're 0 for 2.
I
0
know.
for 2.
I know. But list all the other Ryan Gosling movies that I haven't seen.
Only God Forgives?
Definitely haven't seen that. No, I take it back what I said earlier. But I do like the guy. What's that? Lost you.
I'm just trying to. Sorry, I'm just dealing with the glare. There you go. Kind of set everything up correctly in my circular polarizer and blah 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 blah. Inside baseball stuff, folks.
But I mean, that's good stuff to talk about. I mean, everyone, if you have special lights that have photo filters over them, which I think Ray probably does.
I do.
If you set up, I have this set up too, which I got from the incredible Howard Lyon.
The Howard Lyon.
Who has been when we were on Twitch. He had joined a couple times. But
That's right, he did.
He got me into this. So anyways, what you want to do is to reduce glare. There's a couple ways you can do it, right? You can bounce your light at really sharp angles, typically like exactly 90-degree angles, which works really well. And I've used that for years. But what I got from Howard is a really great process of, use modern technology to cut the angles of the light off yourself. And what you do is you get polarizing film that you put over your lights, and they're oriented the exact same way. And then you get a circular polarizer that you put over your lens, and together those cut out the angle of light, and it removes like all extra glare, and it actually makes things that look dry or matte, because sometimes certain paints will dry with a matte finish. It makes those look really deep and wet again, like they're brand new. Very cool effect. Useful. I use it all the time now. Try it out.
Yeah, thank you, Howard. You really saved my bacon.
Yeah, it became really useful.
Sometimes you don't have space to put your lights at 90-degree angles, especially when you're trying to shoot something large.
Well, right, and wasn't it like Mark Carter who was saying, make it like 35 feet away or something like that? And that's super good if you have the space, but it's really hard to do if you don't have the space. So what I do without the space is I get really close. My lights are really close, but they're all polarized. That's all I got to say about that. I mean, not all, but I could say more. So, yeah, as you've guessed, and as I think Noah guessed, it's Blade Runner 2049 that I'm doing a little thing from. I'm a huge fan. Amazing movie. Amazing cinematography by Roger Deakins. If you don't know Roger Deakins, check him out on IMDb.
Internet.
And on internet. And once you do, go watch every movie that he's worked on. One of his most recent ones is a movie called 1917. And he did a really cool sort of...
He did a really good job on
that one. What did he do? He basically did like a cheat shot of making it feel like one long single shot. Very cool effect. I will say, I do agree with Tarantino in this situation. It would have been cool if he actually had done one single super long shot in that movie. Because most of them are actually short. Almost all the shots in the movie are pretty short. And then they do like trick cuts. Nonetheless, really cool idea. Really, there have been movies in the past.
Feedback, Quentin.
There have been movies in the past that were completely single shots and no tricks. So it is doable. Probably would have been near impossible to movie the scale of this one, but it is doable. So no excuses, Roger Deakins.
Roger.
He did he just done a bunch of movies with Denis Villeneuve. I think that's how you say it with a French accent. And Sicario.
It's Denis Villeneuve.
Denis Villeneuve.
Denis
Oh, Villeneuve.
Villeneuve.
Okay. Sorry about
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
French speakers. I'm really sorry. But he did a lot with the Coen Brothers and with Denis Villeneuve. Most notably, Sicario, Arrival, and Blade Runner 2049.
I thought Deakins didn't do 2049.
Oh, I mean, he didn't do 20. No, he did do 2049. He didn't do Dune.
Oh, he didn't do Dune. My bad.
He didn't do Dune, and he was signed on for Dune,
Yeah.
but 1917 came up, and I believe I don't even know if this is the true story, but I think he just kind of ditched the project to work on that, which is respectable because it's a really cool project.
Yeah, it's okay. Dune was like a minor flick anyway.
It wasn't a big deal, no one really cared.
But whoever he left the movie, whoever's hands he left the cinematography duties to did a really good.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Did good job.
I mean, absolutely beautiful stuff for Dune. The way they kind of, I don't know if you saw some of the behind the scenes stuff on it, but they did, instead of green screen, they did like sand colored screens.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and this is totally goes to kind of the stuff we're always talking about. It has to do with relativity of light, light color.
Were they doing like a volume,
they wanted all the reflected light.
Mandalorian?
What do you mean? Say that again. What do you mean?
Like the Mandalorian did basically like a volume.
Oh, the screen.
Do you know that?
No, yeah, they didn't do the screen thing. And I don't know who to credit to this. The what's his name?
Visual effects supervisor?
No, the DP. It wasn't Roger Deakins. I think it was Greg Fraser, maybe. I assume he came up with this, but he wanted the color, any color coming in, like any edge color coming in, to not be super blue like you would get from blue screen, or green like you'd get from green screen.
Right.
And they didn't use the rear projection thing, or the huge, the thing that Disney's been using a lot now, the giant screen in the background. He didn't do that. He just wanted it was essentially anything that was going to be a green screen or blue screen was a sand colored screen, like a deep tan color, because he wanted all that light coming in to be based on that light, and not the blues and greens that you can get, which tend to look a little unnatural if you're not doing tons and tons of visual effects over the top. And the way Denny likes to work is a lot of practical, so he wanted it to feel the special effects, he wanted to feel as practical as possible. It was a really cool effect. It gave everything like a nice color, essentially color grading without color grading.
I have to check that out. I did not know that.
Well,
I love that movie.
Huge
fan of the novels. So
they made a book out of that?
I was based off the movie.
Oh, novelizations. Sorry. Yeah.
Novelizations.
Yeah, I love the novelizations.
It was a mobile game first, though.
I believe so. I'm just glad they finally, made it from mobile game to the big screen.
I was just gonna say, can you imagine if they made a movie based off a mobile game? They have.
Can you imagine if they made a movie like based off a battleship or something? How weird would that be?
Well, talking about Dune, Steve Prescott did a bunch of stuff for the board games coming out.
Isn't it great? Steve's awesome.
Oh man, I love it.
I just did a job with Steve, and it was good. It's fun to hang with Steve.
I pretty picky about Dune designs. It's the only property I'm like, like where I'm just like really picky because I know that the source material.
Okay,
Um,
so you're like
you know what I'm saying? Like
one of those people who like read George R. R. Martin's books
I'm
before.
basically like you every day, but just with Dune.
Touche, touche. Um, awesome. So, what's your favorite Dune design so far then?
I would say no. If I would say, is it fair for me to say that I am like you're very much like that with Tolkien stuff, right?
No,
Is
yeah,
that
no. I
fair?
think it's important to have taste, dude. So don't worry, you're not.
Yeah.
I think it's important to have a
No,
vision
I
and taste.
I'm just trying to
Backpedal.
contextualize it
That's
for
what you're trying to
folks.
do.
Yeah. Back up. Just shitting on, famous actors podcast. I don't care. Telling people, telling it sounds like I'm saying like Steve's designs suck. No, I actually really like them. I really liked them.
Yeah, I think he's
I
got a
was like, oh,
cool.
this is sweet.
He's got like one thing I will add, and maybe this isn't canonical, but it's okay. You should be able to break canon when something looks dumb or sounds dumb on the written page. But I like that Steve kind of added some color to the still suits. In the movies, the two movie versions, the still suits are black, and you know,
Right.
kind of doesn't
Because they're
make it
yeah,
too
that's
easy
the
to hide in the desert
that's,
when you're a black
no,
speck on the horizon.
no. It's like a black gray, like it's not. Yeah, that's. I should say, when I read Dune, I'm like, I'll look at stuff and I'm like, that won't work visually.
Yes,
So that's
exactly.
that's a nonsense design.
Remember this,
This won't work visually. That's
artists out
nonsense.
there. Really remember this. If something cool is king, this is the rule. If something on the written page sounds cool but doesn't work visually, then make something visually cool to replace it. And don't worry about the canon. And there's a million examples of this. I cannot think of one right now where they deviated from something that would have looked
Well,
absolutely
like
bananas.
the thopters, the thopters, right?
Yeah, maybe that's a
Um,
good example. That's probably a good one.
that was pretty close to what the like. If you notice, all of the movies kind of have a very similar design to the thopters.
They did like
Um,
Dragonfly though with Denny's, right?
right, they did, yeah. So, which I found that was awesome. It's a nice, slick version of it. But there are things like, I've never really liked the design of the castle at Arakeen, like the brutalist design, because it
In
doesn't make
Denny's?
sense as to like well, just in any of them, because it has to do with the book, right?
What's the I'm sorry, I don't
Like,
know Dune very well. What's the castle at Arakeen? What is that?
oh, so it's the main fortress where they in that fight in that battle where they like the Atreides come in and they're taking over for the Baron
On Dune.
Harkonnen
It's like the palace that.
on Dune. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
okay, okay, okay.
that they previously had. So like the way the canon works is that they had that for like a couple of generations,
Right, so
and
it should
I
be
like the idea of
Harkonnen. It should look like a Harkonnen castle.
yeah, yeah, because their attitude is very aggressive. Like they'll just slap a building of theirs and make it just like overtly just they're like overtly kind of grotesque, but like in a what's the word? Like it's like a demonic Bacchus. If demonic Bacchus ran like took
Wait,
ruled Dune,
who's demonic Bacchus?
like a demonic version of Bacchus, the god of wine, and
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, sorry, sorry.
yeah, you know what I'm saying,
Yeah,
um,
so it should like.
like
Did you see the? Did you play Destiny when they went to like the Emperor's ship? Did you play Destiny at all?
no, for
Well,
like 2 seconds,
you go
but so
in the
no,
second game. You go to the Emperor's ship for one of the expansions, and it's like super lavish and gold, and there's just like gluttonous evidence of just pure gluttony like everywhere. Um,
yeah, that's it, that's the word.
yeah, just like drink. Like there's even if you look close, there's like feces all over the place. Like, and it's not really feces; it's like grapes. But I think the original intent was like it should be feces and just
That's
nastiness, right?
awesome.
Just nastiness.
That's it. Yeah, that's it. And like they like in the books they talk about how they used to have a like whenever they have a huge dinner party, the Harkonnens would have like the guests would all wash their hands and faces in water, right? And then wipe dry them off in the towels. And then what they would do is then they would throw the towels out and let the poor people try and fight for the towels so that they can get water in, because water
Holy
is such a
smokes!
it was
That's
like
ruthless.
so it's ruthless, right? And so like why would people like that
Have a
have
Spartan-looking building. Yeah,
have a Spartan looking building? It's just it's like the black still suits in the middle of the desert,
yeah. It's
um
not practical, right?
yeah,
And
it's just
actually, that'd be my
I
biggest
wish I could.
complaint about Denny's version is everything seemed a little sparse, right? I feel like the Atreides coming from a planet of super lushness, lots of water, just a beautiful, and like the fact that they
Right.
reference all the bullfighting stuff, they were dressed way too simple, like way too clean. They should have had embroidered
Yeah.
epaulets and like crazy looking elaborate, and then that sets them aside. That would set them in contrast to the Harkonnen to me. But I mean,
Yeah.
I'm just nitpicking. I really like Denny's Dune. I got to
No,
nitpick.
I love it. I love it too. But I'm like the same way in terms of like I loved it got at the right feeling of the novels. Like the way I envisioned it, like the feeling of it is just spot on. I just I again like I have like huge opinions about it. So like yeah, the Caledonians, like they're very like naturely people too. Like they're very much like respectful of like nature, and their religions kind of center around that. And they're also it's yes mostly water, the planet. So it's like almost like the Scottish Isles, and they've ruled the Atreides have ruled based off of like loyalty, and because they're so loved, right? And they're fair people. So it's more of like an outward facing type of ruling rather than an inward. And I just find like yeah, I would like to I was like, when you think about it like that, you could do a lot of cool stuff,
Mm-hmm.
with their stuff. Like they felt too. I know, like I mean, the movie is so hard to. The book is so hard to be a movie. It really is, and I'm so happy they did it in two parts.
Well, I mean, it's a different medium,
Um,
right? Like we got to remember that it
yeah,
a film of a visual storytelling and the written word are completely different ways it's like
and also,
there's an interview with Coppola about this. He talks about like the base unit of storytelling, and when you're writing, the base unit is the sentence, right? And when you're telling a visual story on screen, it's the shot. The shot is your basic language, and that means that just fundamentally, you're gonna have completely different mediums here.
right, right, yeah. I mean, that's right. That's the biggest divide. It's like you're trying to translate a verbal language into a visual one. There are going to be things that are lost in translation or don't. You know, yeah, they're just going to be things that are lost in translation because of it. And like so, yeah, I've got a lot of ideas for that. So like it's like why would you have I think Dune would have been perfect as an HBO series. I think the whole entire series or something like that, like an HBO or like Netflix, whatever, like a really highly produced type of series, because you could do the entire first season based off of like leading up to the attack. Could be the season ending, like where he's the house Atreides are betrayed, because there's all this like spy craft that's going on, and like people walking around and they're like got blood on their uniforms. You're like, what the hell just happened to that dude?
Yeah, I mean,
In the books, like it's like somebody's like wiping his knife. Like, what the hell? What?
yeah.
I would like to go, go see expand on that, and also like video games too. Like, I really, I hate the fact that like every single Dune game is a strategy game because it could be so much more than that. But that's just my gripe.
No, I think these are perfectly reasonable. Oh boy, hold on.
Sorry, I went on
There
a
it is.
whole rampage on
No,
that.
I mean, I think we should be able to have opinions about this, obviously.
Yeah.
But all this being said, we're being nitpicky, right? I do think Denny's version of Dune is currently the best version I've ever seen.
Dude, it's one of my favorite. I would put it in like top 20 movies, easy.
Oh,
And I don't
nice.
say anything less than that because I have to really think about it.
Yeah, I
But
don't
like,
like to do that. I've done it recently.
yeah,
I hate the I don't even know how to describe it. It's like, I don't know, it can't be done. It's really hard to make like a favorite movie list without being
exactly.
really frustrated about what you left off.
Right, exactly. Because there's stuff that I know for myself. Like I know I've forgotten movies that I absolutely would be on the same list. I just forgot that I just forgot them because I've seen so many.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So yeah, I love that movie, and I'm so happy it came out the way it did because it's it's a miracle that the movie even got off the ground because it's been tried. People have attempted to try and to make it for decades after the David Lynch movies.
I actually
Basically,
gotta commend
did
Warner Brothers, man. I really do. Like, they have not taken risks, I don't think, lately, especially with like the DC movies. And this was a monster risk. A movie like notoriously known for being crappy and impossible to make, and they did it.
He's the right director, though.
I agree. I think not many others could have pulled it off.
No, and he was the right director for Blade Runner too.
I agree.
But,
I friggin' love this movie. I'm glad. I mean, we haven't talked about it yet, but we should talk about 2049. And I'm not taking notes
so
on this.
let's
It's
first
a masterpiece.
Well, let's first like I don't know, show our nerd card here.
Okay. Do we gotta have that?
I don't know. It's just like I loved the original Blade Runner. It's one of my favorite movies of all time.
Yeah, it's a near
Blade
perfect
Blade
movie.
Runner, specifically the director's cut, is by far a masterpiece. That's like my preference. I think the final cut's a damn travesty, and
Here we go.
the original one is okay.
Here
But
we go.
I said I think it's my opinion, so I'm right. So I mean, I would routinely watch Blade Runner director's cut on silent, and work and just look at it every so often. I used to do that all the time.
Music by the Vangelis.
Vangelis, which was awesome.
It is this.
It was
It
great
is
music,
this mood.
but-
Like, they even invoke it. I'm going back to Destiny again, but there's like a moment in Destiny 1 where you're just like walking around in the tower, and there's this like Blade Runnery, like sound, and it's just, man,
Yeah.
it just like sucks me right into the Vangelis stuff that they did for Blade Runner.
Dude, that movie is just monumental. It was monumental. I will say, I mean, I love that movie, and I really want to watch it
Right now, put it on.
right after stream. Yeah, I'm serious. I'm serious. That's one of the movies I would just, I'd sit and watch, no problem.
Yeah, I
If
recently
somebody
had
asked me if I wanted to watch it.
I had recently a reviewing of it, and man, there's one or two weird little plot issues, but holy Christ, it is good. And I don't want to get into this argument. Ross 6, but Ridley's lost it. He hasn't had it for a long time.
So, okay. So, I preface it because what I'm going to say is probably controversial.
I want you to say controversial things.
I think 2049 is a better movie than the original Blade Runner.
Holy. Wow.
I'm not saying it's a more impact.
This. I'm not even touching this.
Okay. I'm not saying it has more cultural impact, obviously. Like, no. I'm just saying as a movie, it's way superior because the storytelling's better. Like, Ridley Scott's Blade Runner is incredible. You don't need, like, the reason why I watch it on silent and understand what's going on is because everything's told visually, but it's a little clunky at times plot wise, like in the way, in certain things,
wars
I just think that, like,
wars have been fought over this for less.
Yeah, for less. I know, dude. I know. But I walked out of 2049. I was like, oh my God, they made a movie that was better than the original. It was a Godfather 2 moment.
Well, I mean, you can't. This is semantic, but Godfather 2 is just Godfather 1. That's just part 2. It's all one book.
What's wrong with you, man? What's your problem?
I would say, I don't know if I walked out saying that it was better than Blade Runner, but I did walk out really appreciating the fact that it was the most faithful sort of reboot I'd ever seen, essentially. It really, they could have gone wild with it, and they didn't. They made it feel like it was in the same universe just years later. Yeah. It didn't feel like they were trying to franchise it or anyway. It just felt like they wanted to make another Blade Runner and
tell a complicated story, because the first one wasn't. It was a very simple story. It's not anything like crazy. It's like they're hunting for these replicates. Where are they? Do some detective work. Okay, I think I found them.
Well, and the big gag for me in Blade Runner 1, the simplicity, like you're talking about, like, is that Blade Runner, the whole gag is like, is Deckard a replicant, right? In the end, that's like the big reveal. Right. It's like, is he a replicant? We know he is because Ridley said he is, and they reveal it through cinematography. It's pretty obvious.
I really feel like why did he do that though? He shouldn't have. He shouldn't have said anything.
But he didn't need to. I think when he said, I saw the interview, like when he said it, he was like, well, it's obvious. Because they did the light thing, but it's just like, they used cinematography to reveal it.
I know, but like, this is why I think he kind of lost it.
Oh, no,
like, you think that really that made that movie, that movie at that time, the 80s, really would have ever said anything? It took them decades. Okay, because it's not like that was the first time he's ever been asked that question. Yeah, seriously, right? Like, it just and all of a sudden he was like, well, I remember seeing the interview. Oh, well, I made it obvious. I'm like,
yeah, it's sort of like,
that's your masterstroke, dude.
Nothing like what's his name?
Frank Darabont said it best.
Christopher Nolan would never do it. No, go ahead, Darabont.
No. Well, Darabont, in the interview was like, I don't want to know.
Oh, sure.
That's the beauty of it.
But I mean,
and it's just like, and then the next scene is like, yeah. I mean, that was obvious. It's obvious.
Yeah, you know exactly what's going on. But yeah, it's like what Christopher Nolan has said. Like, some things don't need to be spoken. Like, it's a visual medium, right? You just show them visually what's going on. You don't have to have a character say the lines. It doesn't have to be exposition.
Yeah. I mean, like, they didn't really emphasize that idea of like he was they didn't emphasize the like fact that Decker was a replicant in 2049.
No, they assumed you remembered that it was revealed that he was.
Yeah, but I don't know if they ever like. Do you really? I didn't feel like it was any part of the plot. Like he ran away with a replicant
Oh no, I think it was a major part because
that he was hunting.
the whole point was that two replicants had a child, and it was his child. That was the whole point of the search. Is that
I thought it was just yeah. Well, okay.
the
I see what
new
you're saying.
the new Jared Leto's company wanted to, I guess, get the child to study the fact that it was a birth from two replicants.
I always thought it was like the replicant mother.
Maybe
I'm
that's
totally
how I read it. That's
like,
how I read it.
I listen. I am total. I could be totally confirmation bias on my part. I gotta go watch it again.
Either way, great movie, and we're still talking about it.
Either way, great movie.
It's like
Yeah.
I think this not handing it to the audience verbally is, it's something that Christopher Nolan does. If you just look for the
Right.
if you look for the evidence in, let's say, Inception, you'll know exactly what's going on at the very end of the movie. All you have to do is watch the movie and listen to what everyone says, and you will have enough evidence to know exactly whether Leonardo DiCaprio's character is awake or asleep.
But it doesn't matter.
But it also doesn't matter. But if you want to know the answer,
Because I don't want to know.
Right, there you go. If you don't want to know, you don't have to look for it.
I think the question. I think great art asks a question. Doesn't give an answer.
Yeah, that's good.
Like that?
That was really good. It's poetic. That was kind of amazing.
I stole that from somebody. Great art also steals. Great artists steal. I actually stole that from John English. Now that I remember, I was like, I forgot who I stole that from. But other artists have said it too. But I totally. So John, if you're watching this, I stole it from you. I used your thing.
Don't tell him.
You killed.
Oh, this is getting wonky. All right, it's always important to step back and look at your paintings, everybody. This is getting wonk. Lost the likeness a little bit, so I'm gonna step back.
Yeah, I gotta just remixed a bunch of paint myself, and I got my preview of my painting in my other monitor, so I'm like looking at that and stepping back, of course. Step back is always a good idea, folks. Allows you to see the whole image, and zooming out, just like Tyler's doing.
Yeah, if you're really zoomed in, you can kind of get fussy over details, and that starts to bust your piece to bits.
So, yeah, ambiance and world building. Or like capturing a story's kind of like, I don't know, visual accent or visual, like visual language basically, but like it's I really love talking about that stuff because of course obviously we're artists and stuff, but also just like I think you can I wanted to say the reason why is because and this is why Blade Runner has influenced me so much, is because Blade Runner has shown that it's a simple, you could take it's not about really, Ridley Scott proved at that point, it's not the complexity of the story, it's how you tell it.
Yeah, I think that's true.
And
it's
like
allows you to interpret
like
it
the piano scene, like the piano scene, and then like with the unicorn. Oh,
Oh yeah, the unicorn stuff. Edward James
dude,
Olmos, baby.
right?
I'm getting my men.
That was not in Blade Runner.
I think we talked about this on the stream when they were interviewing him for Battlestar Galactica. For Battle, sorry, they were
Oh, I
interviewing
did
him for the Blade
for
Runner
Blade
special
Runner.
edition, and he
Yeah,
kept calling them
right,
replicants.
right. You could tell what he was working on at
Yeah,
the time because he kept saying replicants.
they're the replicants.
You know what the replicants?
I mean the
I mean,
Cylons.
I mean, the Cylons, not the. That's what he kept saying. You know, is Deckard a Cylon?
Yeah.
I'm like, what? That's a whole nother can of worms, Eddie.
Man,
It's
I
funny.
fucking love Edward James.
I love it.
Olmos.
He came up with his like nonsense speak just by himself, and really this guy was like,
yeah.
"Yep, sounds great." It's so good.
The street word or whatever they were calling it.
Yeah, it's like a street talk or something. It's like Chicano meets
But it's got like Chinese in it.
Chinese.
Yeah, exactly.
meets something else. I forgot what he had said.
That's smart. Like that's kind of cool. They do that in what's it called? It's a space one that's on Sci-Fi now. Wow, can't remember.
Dude,
Help me
I
out.
have no idea.
It's a huge like space saga. Belters and stuff like that.
Sci-fi?
Yeah. Ah man. Anyways, it'll come to me. But they have like kind of like the Belter people or the blue collar people have their own sort of like space station language.
That's
the
awesome.
Expanse. The Expanse. Talking about the Expanse. Yeah, it's a cool
That's
like, you know, as a sci-fi writer, they have not forgotten the fact that like language is a huge part of human being, right?
right. Dude, do you think we could do with just all right, I go back to Dune. I was just gonna be like just having a language like like just an accent, like how people talk. You know, versus like
Well, it's a
you know,
gradient
between
right?
the houses, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like you know, if you're talking about like Dune, you would have cultural
Yeah.
landmarks and slang and this whole idea that there'd be like a maintained common language across the stars seems pretty difficult to maintain. I think they did in Firefly too, where they kind of had that crazy language mixture. Hey Sam.
Oh yeah,
Good
that
to
was
see you,
great
man.
too. Yeah.
Sam White,
I
amazing,
mean the
amazing artist. Everybody, check him out. Check out his work.
Hey Sam. I think they
But
fixed
yeah.
that with like universal translators or something like that and
Yeah, that's how Star Trek
in
got
Dune. I
around
forgot
it.
what they
Star Trek gets around
it's
with
like universal
universal
translators.
translators. And you got to have that. You got to have that hand wavy stuff. What did they say? You know, thank God they
Yeah,
invented
for
the
sure.
so-and-so device.
I mean, in the original novels, they just never mentioned it.
There's a lot of stuff they left out too, in like the Orange Catholic Bible. They didn't even touch that in the movies. They're like, we're not.
Oh,
touching
that was in the movie.
Did they
That was in
mention
the
it?
movie. Yeah.
Oh shoot! I totally missed it. I figured
Yeah.
they wouldn't mention that. It seems like a hot button issue.
Wasn't overt, but it wasn't overt, but it was I think I'm pretty sure the Sook doctor gives it to him. Gives Paul it when they're heading to Arrakis.
Oh yeah. Dude, I'm gonna have to watch that again.
They did such a great job with like the battle language too. Like the Atreides have this hand language that they explained in the books, like that's how they communicate really quickly to people.
I didn't even notice.
And they just
that.
up and
Oh,
did
wait.
it,
Yeah.
didn't explain it and moved on. I was like, that's how you do it.
That's right. He did sign language to his mom, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
don't worry
where
about-
she was like, prepare for violence, you know?
Yeah. It's like don't worry. We don't need exposition here. It just has to exist.
Even the voice was done well. It's great. It
That's a
was
hard
great.
one. That
I'm
was
just
the
saying.
I was waiting for them to screw that up.
Autoclito.
How do you
Patrick Stewart gets a bad rap in that.
always? Is there did you run into any like, oh, I didn't think they would pronounce it that way? I think people did that when the Lord of the Rings came out. Did you have like
Um,
pronunciation keys in your head that you thought they were going to stick with and then they changed up the pronunciation?
I think Harkonnen was one,
Yeah.
but I always taught. I I always, but that was on me. I think it was like because I think the audiobooks say Harkonnen too, but I always thought Harkonnen because it sounded aggressive.
Yeah, I that's how I'd always heard it. Even then I think when I saw David Lynch's I was like, this is not how I expected them to say that. Harkonnen sounds I think better. But that's
Shai Hulud. No, they did everything. They did everything. Um, yeah. I don't have any
flawless.
problems
No
with
complaints.
well, because it's not like Tolkien, which is like basically like a linguist nerd written by a
Yeah.
linguist nerd who likes fantasy. Um,
Yeah, and they had what's his name on set, and he was already an expert in the pronunciation. And he was Christopher Lee, so
yeah,
they didn't have to do much.
no, exactly. No questions, no questions.
Even though some of it
That
is
is not how someone stabbed with a knife sounds.
they wheeze.
What? Yeah, it's being sucked out of them. What? What? What?
Why do you know this?
No question. No questions. No questions.
That Christopher Lee guy, man, he's a spy. I think he was like witnessed the last guillotine execution in France. Yeah, dude
What?
is everywhere.
No, really?
Yeah, which was actually shockingly like in the 70s.
What?
Yeah, you didn't expect that, did you?
Dude. Am I surprised? No. But like how oh my god.
Yeah, that
In
was
the
when I
70s?
heard about that. I was
Wow.
like, no way, you kidding me? That's so recent. Maybe late 60s, but doesn't matter. Very close. Way
Doesn't
sooner than
matter.
you thought.
We
What's the
know
difference?
people that are we know plenty of people that were alive around that time.
Yeah.
This is not, the 1870s. This is like 1970s. That's nuts. 60s. Um, what else was I going to say about oh, what so all of that like you could see one thing I was going to end on Blade Runner was like that's totally like what Cyberpunk 2077 does.
The game?
Like the world building in that. Yeah, it's just like it's nuts.
Dude, I got to get into it.
Different accents and
CD Projekt
stuff and
Red is they're in a phenomenal company.
dude, they completely changed the game mechanics too since the new they had a new update to coincide with the path tracing. They have this crazy visual mode now.
Really?
Barely any. Oh yeah, it's nuts. But it's it's true path tracing. So it's basically like Blender has cycles.
Yeah.
It's a path. That's a right. Okay. So imagine that in real time.
Wow. That's cool.
And so like the game is like 3 years old and it's still the probably one of the best looking games out. Period. Like visual experience, like kind of doesn't get any better.
All right.
And
I
but
got it on PlayStation.
they redid all of they did a bunch of like gameplay tweaks too. Like I mean like clothing used to be like armor, and you'd have different shoes that have different armor, and so I'd have to kind of like keep track of that. They just got rid of that. They're like, no,
Oh,
it's
really?
cosmetic now. And they just streamlined a bunch of stuff. Yeah. Because I was like,
Huh.
you mean I can wear with that whatever I want? I don't have to wear like a goofy
Oh, they did that in
outfit
they did
because
that
it.
in Destiny too, like where you could reskin everything. Did they? Was
I
that
don't love
Destiny?
that.
Maybe it's a different game I'm thinking of, but yeah, you can like reskin everything. They did that in the Potter game. Yeah, you can get cool new stuff and you can reskin everything.
There you go. Played the Potter game, Hogwarts
Yeah,
Legacy,
it's very cool,
dude. Oh, that's. There's so many games I want to play.
dude. That's the problem.
Um,
There's so many shows I want to watch, so many games I want to play. What's the time?
yeah. You know what I'm watching now? Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem.
Is that the movie? Seth Rogen one?
Yeah, yeah. Um, I'm 5 minutes in, and I'm like, yeah, I know why this movie was so like highly touted. Like it's obvious
It looks
because
awesome, man.
dude, it's like a paint. It's like literally a painting.
Oh, like the
Like they're
what's
actual brush strokes, like
what was the
all the shaders and stuff.
why am I blanking on it? Spider-Man, Spider-Man, Spider-Verse. It's like that.
Yeah, those because yeah, a lot of the same artists worked on it.
Great. That's
A
awesome.
lot of the Spider Verse artists worked on it. You know? But it's Spider Verse. It's a completely different style, but it's very painterly. Like there's certain things that are just scribbles. It's wild, man.
That's
I
great.
think it's more wild visually than Spider Verse.
Really?
Like Spider Verse looks more conservative as a result. Now I haven't watched the second one, which I'm gonna watch for sure.
Second one does some
Gonna
interesting
rent that.
stuff, but I don't know if it might even be more conservative than the first one. But it's good.
That's saying something, right? I mean, that's saying something.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's slight. I mean, I'll let you see it, but they have a lot of universe jumping, and
Oh yeah, with
they're
Spider
really
Punk
like
and the yeah.
keeping the universes in their own sort of style, and so
Yeah.
at first I was like, wait, what's going on here? Why does the style look so different? But then I realized, like, oh, I get it. I'm in another universe. That's why the style's different. This universe style is different.
Yeah, and they alluded to it in the first one, but they never. It was there was always an anchor point, like it was that style,
Yeah, and you don't get to
like it
see
was the main
Gwen's
stuff.
world
Yeah.
very well, and you do in this
No,
next one.
no. Yeah, you just kind of like here you go. This is a backstory.
Yeah,
Nothing
so
else.
they will not to spoil anything, but when you see it, you'll see that they have really established those styles a bit more.
Well, I follow so many of the artists on Instagram that I already know.
Oh,
So
okay. Well, Gwen's
the
world is a
spider
completely
punk
different
and
style.
like a watercolor. Yeah, it's almost like bleeding watercolor and marker, like streaky marker.
Yeah, like pastels
Um,
and it's super high
pastels.
chroma,
Yeah.
super high chroma.
Did you know that the Indian Spider-Man, like green and all that stuff?
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Did I tell you this?
No,
I
tell me
I've
what.
found out that that color palette was based off of the Marvel Comics um, arm of Marvel Comics that came out in India.
No
So they
way.
actually published their comics in India, but they obviously wanted to do it on the cheap. So those colors were the cheapest colors to print in. So if you find the Captain America issues, but in India, that's what they look like. The colors are all funky.
Oh no,
Isn't that
so it's
wild?
like the Hulk. Like it wasn't the Hulk, then they picked green because it was cheap.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
I've heard that as a rumor. I don't know if it's
So
true.
everything's got like a green shade.
Dude, that is amazing.
Look it up online. It's nuts to look at. You're like, what the?
No, dude, I
And
believe
some
it.
of the issues you recognize, you're like, holy.
Oh, here we go. We're going into thick paint here, everyone. Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, I'm thickening it up myself here.
Oh, it gets wonky when you do this. Dang. Kind of cool thing is if you just turn off the paint, you can just add impasto wherever you want, which is pretty fun. I think that's way too bright. Oh boy. Let's dumb it down.
All right, so 20 minutes left.
You gained some serious ground on that thing.
I'm on show mode, baby.
He's flying.
I'm just laying. I'm almost done. I'm pretty much done with my lay-in here. I'm gonna on.
Yeah, I am.
Later.
Cooking on with too much color here. Dude, so what else can we say that's going to anger the internet? Because we've talked crap about original
I
Blade
think
Runner
I
and
think
Ridley
through
Scott.
I think as a experience, I think 3D coat, sculpting in 3D coat is so much more fun. Sculpting ZBrush. There, I said it.
That's your controversy? All
Dude,
right.
that's huge.
All right, we'll take it.
And also, VR might be the easiest way to get into 3D outside of Nomad Sculpt on the iPad.
I would probably agree with that. There's some cool stuff you can do in VR. It's very intuitive to sculpt with your hands. Second they get haptics, man, we're going to see some like serious 3D sculpting.
It's nuts. Yeah. Dude, I mean, like that thing I sent you, I did in 20 minutes.
That's amazing. That's fast.
Yeah, it's like just a simple shape. Boom, boom, boom. You want to cut something off? Sure, no problem. There's this great app. It's called a program called ShapeLab VR. So it's like it's polygonal, but it's like
polygonal. That sounds like something else.
It's a polygon-based engine, but it has this thing called dynamic tessellation. I don't know exactly how the technology works, but long story short, if you want to add something, it's like kind of having Sculptris Pro on.
Okay.
And so it will like, but it's a smart Sculptris Pro. So like, if you go in smooth something, it will simplify the polygon so that you don't lose a shape, but it uses less polygons to do it.
Oh,
like it's wild. So it's always kind of like optimizing the mesh.
That's cool. Is it using AI or something to do this?
No, I think it's just part of its engine.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, right, Sam?
I mean, it could be. I don't know.
I don't believe any of this.
But 3D code's the shiz, man, because it's voxels, so you could just like, I was showing you that like after the stream last week. It was just, actually I didn't, but yeah, you could just like, all right, I want to look like I ran a bus through this thing. There you go, boom. No flip normals or any of that stuff.
So you just smash it right up if you want.
Crazy. Just yeah. Who cares? You're like 500 triangles, million, no problem.
I'm gonna get into
voxels,
it,
baby.
It's gonna happen. I'm gonna get into it. One of these
Dude,
days.
it's such a language barrier too, man. It's so frustrating because it's not like a centralized thing. Like you have to. There's this art director by the name of Shadi Safadi. He's a creative director at he has a studio called One Pixel Brush, and he has a talk online. He talks about artists learning 3D, and it's like, it's not like in drawing one leads to the next, right? It's like 3D, you have this whole thing you gotta learn, and then like if you want to do a certain thing, like it's got these, it's like little modules. So it's like, okay, you want to sculpt, all right, that's that one thing. You want to model in 3D, well, that's a whole nother language. So you got to go learn about that. Oh, you want to do UV? You want a texture? Oh, so we got to learn about UVs. So there's a whole nother language there.
Yeah.
Oh, you want to do like, work with like, you want to do a landscape and you want to scatter all the landscape, like the assets. Well, that's your geometry notes. You got to learn about that. It's like, oh, okay, all right, let me go. Okay, okay,
All right, let me learn
it's
about
like,
everything. Let me learn.
oh, you want to render something?
Good
It's like
luck.
when we were talking about Blender. You were like, dude, the computer's so slow. And it's like, yeah, you got to flip this, and flip this switch, and do it. And you're like, whoa. It's just not built in like easy for you, you
I
know?
remember Daz had some of
Like you
that
were in,
too.
yeah, it's like, and I really love Blender. But it's again like if you get in the wrong, it's like in Photoshop when you have the wrong timeline, like you have an animation timeline up, you're like, what is going on here? This is not my house. Like I feel like Marty McFly coming back in Back to the Future 2 to his own house. He doesn't know why the doors are locked, and
Dude, great analogy. Now I'm getting artsy with this. I'm just getting artsy with it.
it's looking great, dude.
Thanks, man. Thank you. I'm trying to.
Love the gradient.
That was the thing I was struggling with. Get that gradient in there. But now because I can pull wet lines off of this, I'm just gonna mess with that.
Okay.
This program's cool. This is my
One more
second time messing with it. I think if I wanted to do really, I guess I could just paint it in oils. But if I wanted to mess around and with oily looking stuff, this program's gonna be great for it.
So, is the verdict still out? Are you going to pick it up? Or are you going to let your trial expire?
I think verdict's still out. I have 20 days or so. Next week, I will see how I feel.
Yeah, I'm the same way with like other programs like Marvelous Designer, and it's this thing called Character Creator, which is like Daz Studio, but it comes with pre-built a lot of morphs built in.
That's cool.
But it's not free. It's like a couple $100. It's got a bunch of other bells and whistles, and but then there's like, what is it? What else? Marvelous, and there's 3D Code.
There's a lot. I think that's the
LiveBrush.
confusing part, right? Is there's so much. How do you know which one's right? And until you start learning the language, that's where
Right.
you're gonna just be like, oh, I don't know what I'm even doing here.
And just like how you like to work too. I'm realizing that a lot. But like you have to be really careful with poly counts and how do you assemble an image, you know? It's so much fun though, which is great. I'm having a blast.
Yeah, you're doing some cool stuff, man.
Oh, thanks, man. It's just experiments at this point. I'm gonna start being a little bit more serious about my image creation, but
It's the only way you learn is. Hey, Nicholas, I will not be at IllexCon this year. I don't do enough original paintings for IllexCon. But I'm hoping to do more.
it just takes time, right?
Yeah, I just got to get into the swing of it. I mean, I'm trying to do more, but I've been kind of back and forth this year of doing just all kinds of either going back to digital for a few pieces, just depending on what my timelines are like.
Yeah. Sometimes like scope too. I mean,
Yeah,
I'll paint
yeah.
an army of people.
Yeah, I mean, definitely not that. That's for sure.
It's like that's the thing about traditional. It's doable. It just will take you a long time.
Yeah. Everything's doable in time.
Yeah. I think that's the thing about 3D I'm learning. It doesn't take, if anything, it takes a lot more time to build an image, but the image quality, like what you can do, outweighs the time that was taken. And that's the thing about uh, original stuff is that, like, yeah, it takes a long time. You've got to plan it properly. Or you could really mess it up. But you have to decide whether or not there are things you can't, that you can get that you just either would take you forever to get digitally, or you just can't get digitally as easily as you can get it just like normally.
Yeah.
But you got to factor in like what if that's worth the time it takes, you know,
Yeah.
or if it's fun for you. 'Cause
Sometimes
if it's not fun, then don't do it.
I agree. And sometimes I'll be spending forever on an effect digitally. I'm like, man, if I could just do this one little section traditionally, I could get that effect instantly. But
Right.
I'm like having to work really hard to get that effect digitally.
Like rotating your brush.
Yeah, it's like I had to buy a whole nother brush instead of just supinating my wrists.
I got that for free. I've been doing that all day. I've been doing it all stream. Just rotating the brush.
I didn't pay for it at all. I was born with it.
I was born with it. Got it for free. My mom and dad got it for me.
It's very generous of them.
Been using it ever since.
This is kind of working. I'll keep messing with it. I've lost the likeness almost completely, but whatever. Looks cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna stop messing with mines.
What are you calling it?
Done. Yeah, I think it's solved what I needed to solve, which is just giving me a basic set of values to work into, and then I'm gonna go in and with full color oil paints and really do it up. You know, it's not perfect. I could make it a super finished piece, but A, I don't have the time to do that, and B, I also feel like I have enough information down to know what the right value was. So it's nice. It's a great base.
Dude. I think you should keep going. I think you should take it to the point where you've ruined it and you're mad at it. And you're mad at what you allowed yourself to do. I can't even tell you how many times I've taken a piece too far. Too many times.
I can tell you.
Oh, okay, good. Which ones?
I was gonna say it's a number that isn't in the numerical in mathematics yet. They haven't created a number. No, I made it sound like I was telling you, but which is way more funnier.
What's that line from Heat
Yeah.
when they got the dude from the grill? He's like, God ain't invented a hard time I can't handle.
That's good. That's really.
He might have said they, and he might not have said God, but whatever. It was a great line.
I'll take care, Noah. Sorry, I'm just catching up on the stream here. Let's see. Polygons, that sounds made up. Yep. Sebastian, Tyler, you should get please stop. Yep.
Thank you. I'm gonna at some point.
Did you save? Did you save at all?
Just did. Hadn't saved the whole time.
Dude.
Nice.
Dude.
hadn't saved the whole time.
This
has happened to me
That's
before.
been happening to me so much. Has it? So how stable is that program? Is it pretty stable?
Seems like I haven't had any crashes yet. I think if I were to mess around with the watercolor, I would definitely have a problem.
Like maybe I'm jinxing myself or I just don't remember it, but Photoshop is rock solid.
I've crashed it a few times. I've crashed it with Liquify.
Oh, yeah, well, I mean,
like
using
massively.
it like an idiot will crash it.
Yeah,
I was saying
Liquify
it's
will
been,
crash the hell
for me.
out of
It's
it.
been for me. It's been rock solid over the past couple of months. It's buggy, although the bugs have been. This release is, I don't know what, they fixed a couple of things. Sometimes my Cintiq would just stop working, and then it's like, okay, I guess we're not. Oh, and my keyboard shortcuts aren't working. Okay.
Oh, that used to definitely be a problem. They've definitely fixed that. It's a lot better now.
Yeah. Blender, you wink at it, or you don't flip your normals, and you're trying to. You click one button, you're like, you hit the render thing, and you forgot this and that. Samples are too high. Done.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Crash Factory.
So yeah, so you can. Maybe that's what's making me perceive Photoshop as this stable, resolute.
Dude, it's really hard to crash.
Piece of software.
It used to crash, but depending on your specs, it's very hard to crash.
So Rose 6 said, how about Heat, Blade Runner, and Bullet 1968 are the same film? Ooh.
I mean, I don't know. A lot of movies are the same, right? The Joker.
Yeah, but those are three super awesome
the same
movies.
as Taxi Driver.
That's great. I love it. I guess that's why I like all three of those movies.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of like stories repeat, and I'm cool with that. I'm fine with that.
Like haikus.
What was oh, what did he?
It's like a haiku. It repeats itself.
Yeah, that's right. It's like poetry. Yeah. It's like poetry.
It's like a haiku. It repeats itself.
That was like 10 seconds before everybody in the room was pointing fingers at who did the wrong thing. Talking about Star Wars. Sorry, guys. We don't need to get into that.
Sorry. And they got wasted and convinced themselves otherwise. It's bold. No, sorry. I'm done.
Yeah, no, you went right back into it for a second there.
Done. Said I'm done. All right, so we got 3 minutes left.
Yeah.
So what? I guess are you done with this?
I don't like where the likeness is, but I might just call it.
Okay.
I've had fun screwing around with it. Maybe I'll mess with the likeness a little bit more. I think that'll just be finicky.
I think you took too long. I think that was the problem.
That's a good point. I should have gone faster. Hold on. Makes finishing touches. Okay. Yeah, we got 2 minutes.
It's hard to believe. It's hard to believe that you started and finished that.
I'm fast.
It really is hard, you know. I know you are. You're fast about everything. Eat fast.
This is cool. I think there's potential with this program. Like you could paint some paintings. I don't know how tight you can get. I do want to try like a Drew Struzan. Maybe next week I'll try a Drew Struzan style piece. That'd be pretty fun, don't you think?
I think it'd be awesome.
I could try Struzan-y style, and which I'm no expert in, but I can't draw the way he does. But I get close, I guess. And see how tight this thing can get. I think if I work on some kind of cold press, which is what I'm working on right now, I can do something pretty neat. Pardon me.
Sweet.
But yeah, how
Well,
about you, man? You gonna move into color next week?
keep working on that. Yeah. So no, I am gonna. Yeah. Will I be able to finish this up? Possibly before the stream. I might jump on another painting. So if I'm not finished with this piece, I will actually you won't see this painting again because I'm gonna move it upstairs and
Never
paint on.
again.
So I might do some 3D next stream.
Oh, that'll be fun. I can't wait to see that.
So it'll be definitely a not safe for work stream because I'll be swearing a lot.
Better be. Better hear some serious trash coming out of your mouth.
And on that note, I have been Ray Bonilla. You can find my work on Instagram at Ray Bonilla Painter and on my website, raymondbonilla.com. And who have you been, sir?
I, and always have been and always will be, in case something weird happens, or if something weird happens, Tyler Jacobson. And I do want to say, keep an eye out for Ray's shows, obviously, because that's going to be huge. And if you're interested in whiskey, check out questsendwhiskey.com because we are shipping bottles.
Yeah, buy a bottle of whiskey. If you care about Tyler, buy a bottle of whiskey.
Please enjoy. And
actually, if you care about Kate, buy a bottle of whiskey. We'll sell more.
Let's be real. Let's be real. Yeah, awesome, great stream, dude, and we are going to be back next week, right?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So we'll be back next week. If you're watching this live, thanks so much for everyone who joined us live. We always love the comments in the chat. We don't always get through all of them, but we do read all of them, so we very much appreciate it. And if you're watching this on demand, thank you so much for watching it on demand. Either cases, if you consider leaving a like, and if you're not already subscribed, subscribe so that you can gain access to all of our videos that were previously streamed. So you could just hang out with us all the time, mostly Tyler.
Yeah,
you can hang on me. I'm
also
a lot more fun.
And Nicholas, yeah, shoot me a message on Instagram, man. Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful evening, and we will see you next week.
Yes. Oh, and don't forget to follow us on Instagram at live.brush to stay up to date when we stream, and as well as any other pieces of artwork that we might save. Thanks so much, everyone. Thanks, Tyler.
Thanks, Ray. Bye-bye.